Greetings, fair and mighty people across the grand spectrums of time and the multiverse. I am Gordon Johansson. I tried to record this video once already, and I failed because I had one fuck of a long day and the subject matter was way too dark and depressing. Basically no way to say what I wanted to say without it coming across like either an utter nihilistic creed about how fucked we all are, or an almost terroristic plea for violence. So I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. Instead, I'm gonna focus on the good things that are happening in my life right now, because we are in very, very dark times. Indeed, I think now that we are heading for World War III. No ifs, no buts, no propaganda, just people are going to die. And I don't know how long it's going to take, and I think the death toll is going to be such that we cannot afford to rule out the slightest possibility of peace. But I think that World War III is coming. I think that an American Civil War is coming, and I think that America is ruled by Nazis now, and if you're a Nazi and you think that's a cause to celebrate, then you haven't read a fucking history book. Because you might get to kill a lot of people, but sooner or later you're gonna find that the demon you let out of that bottle comes back to bite you in the fucking ass. So I'm not gonna talk about sort of the wider geopolitical situation, because you can't. Because you just can't. I mean, because of my autism, I am very empathetic. I can't help it. Even people I hate and despise, I find myself trying to understand. And that's why I'm so completely numb now to the world, because this is bigger than any fucking one of us. You know, Trump may seem so very fucking powerful right now, but give it a few weeks, give it a few months, he's going to have assassination attempts against his life by people in his own cabinet. Because he is making himself into a dictator of the most powerful country in the world. He is making himself the figurehead for a movement of oppression and discrimination and violence. And Republican politicians, even the most horrible of them, aren't completely fucking batshit Hollywood movie villains, right? Even the people who sincerely believe that the white race are being oppressed, and that people from other races and other religions and what have you are a danger, even these people generally have some sense of self-awareness and survival instincts that says, hey, when there's fucking armed protesters outside going to kill us because we're threatening to exterminate them all, they're gonna think that, you know, maybe we should try and do the whole peace thing. Particularly if they are, in fact, one of the more vocal Nazis and they're not getting the protections that Donald Trump is. See, that's the thing about World War III, is everybody loses. Nobody gets to win. Nobody gets to stand atop some grand fucking white charger and say, "Whoa, we're the heroes!" Right? No, there is just whichever side manages to ultimately fucking outlast the other. And spoilers, it's the world, not one country, even one fucking huge country. I mean, yeah, Russia's backing America, and Russia was, you know, the other people who helped win the last two world wars, but Russia has got some reason to want to keep America in check. And remember how World War II started. It started because Hitler decided that Russia looked weak. Because Hitler was a moron. Donald Trump is a moron. And Putin is probably smart enough to know that. Right? I mean, for God's sake, America has been pointing nuclear missiles at the capital of Russia for the past 20, 40 years. They're gonna have a sense of understanding that you don't want to necessarily turn your back on Trump. That you don't want to turn your back on America. Say, like, this is... People are gonna die on all sides. It's not like the Nazis are just gonna go around exterminating people. There's gonna be a fight back. There's gonna be insurgencies against this. When you strip away people's right to protest, when you strip away people's right to live as their own identity, then they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to stop them from fighting back with every fucking iota of strength they have. And right now, Republicans in Congress are not only trying to pass a bill to essentially put protesters in prison for a year, they're trying to pass a bill to essentially let policemen kill protesters without any kind of oversight, so that they can just kill indiscriminately protesters. Once that happens, then America will be in a state of civil war. Once that happens, America will have come out as the Nazis, and they will be bringing a whole load of pain upon themselves. And we are witnessing already the early movement signs of people picking their battle lines, and other countries getting ready and gearing up, of just like, shit is gonna come. And we don't know how bad it's gonna be, but it's gonna be bad. No one's getting out of this scot-free. No one is getting out of this fucking happy. And we don't know when the shooting's gonna start. We don't know when people are gonna start being rounded up. We don't know when the war's gonna kick off officially. But it's coming. It's coming. And so, for someone who is so empathetic, for someone who gives so much of a shit about other people, for someone who worries about the psychological well-being of the people who keep trying to troll him, for someone who genuinely wonders, hey buddy, do you need to get some help? Is there someone you need to talk to? Because you're stalking a guy with tits online. It's not healthy. Someone who gives so much of a shit. This is intolerable. This is hell. And I have gone right back into fucking depression because war's coming. People are gonna die. Never mind, people are gonna die. Thanks to Brexit, our economy in Britain is in the fucking shit. Jobs are going to leave. We're gonna find it's so much more expensive to import food from abroad. Shit is about to get very fucking bad indeed. So I can't give a shit anymore. Never mind I have no shits to give. Never mind I don't want to give a shit. I can't anymore. Because if I care, if I shed the slightest amount of compassion for anyone who isn't fucking me, at this point, I'm dead. Which is fucking hard. It's fucking hard when you're someone who cares about people. In fact, I think part of the reason that I'm actually still fucking alive right now is that I basically fucking realized that it would actually be worse for my family if I were to die at this point. I effectively feel trapped in the purgatory of my life. Because I want to be dead. I do. I don't want to live in a nightmare of dystopian apocalypse. I don't want to live such a pathetic fucking life where I can't get out of the house. I don't want to be afraid of Nazis stalking me places. I don't want to be afraid of Nazis hacking into my accounts. I don't want to be afraid of climate change, flooding wherever we move to. I don't want to be afraid anymore. But I can't not be afraid because I'm not a fucking moron. And so I've become selfish. You know, my dad threw a fucking tantrum the other day because it's what he does. You know, he's a guy from the 50s. He every now and again he gets annoyed and he just needs to scream and shout about how I'm a pathetic disgrace to humanity every now and again. And last time he did it, just recently, I wasn't even mad. Because I deserved it. And I didn't care. Because I am a pathetic disgrace. I am a fucking burden. Because I don't contribute. Because I can't contribute. And I am selfish as fuck. And I am caring only about myself, because I got this friend who's got more severe autism than me, and like, they can't leave the house because their brain can't handle the stress of another living being. Like, they have to be able to say whatever the fuck comes into their heads. They have to be able to do whatever the fuck they want at any given moment in time, because if they don't, then their brains lock up and they freak out and they're just gonna run and kill themselves because they can't handle the stress of it. And I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. I function in society. I talk to people I despise. But I am a regulated capitalist who can't even fucking volunteer because there's not enough people, because there's too many people trying to get experience in fucking admin jobs through volunteering. So I sit at home and I play Rome Total War and I fantasize about fucking global colonization when I can't even win a fucking computer game on easy mode. I am pathetic. Utterly fucking pathetic. And I don't care. Because caring is not something that I can allow myself to do. I have to survive. I have to avoid killing myself in this purgatory before the hell of World War III. So I'm selfish. And I sleep when I'm tired, and I eat when I want to, and I don't give a fuck. And I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when you don't give a fuck, when you know that an apocalypse is coming that you can't do anything stop, and that you're probably going to die, that the people you care about are probably going to die, like, when that happens, and you know that you've just got to keep fucking going all the same, and you realise you can't afford to give a shit about what anybody thinks anymore, like, the limits just go. You know, I used to have so much angst. So much angst! Oh no, what are the feminists gonna think of me? Oh no, I write this stuff and I like it, but oh my god, the feminists are gonna hate me, and I don't care anymore. You know, I could not sleep last night from how fucking aroused I was. Because my brain will just run on like variables. And this is why I started, you know, going down the roots of fetishes, right? Was to fight back against the nightmares, was to have something nice to fucking dream about, something nice that my subconscious could sort of grab hold of and run away with. And now I am just spending hours in my disgusting arse bed, locked in a mental fantasy that is so supremely satisfying. You know, it's like I've made my excuses. I've given my measure of blood to satisfy whatever meager feelings of guilt I have for the fiction I write, for the fantasies that I have. And I don't care anymore. You know. I mean, part of the appeal of vor fiction is that it is gross, that it is disgusting, that for a mind that likes to torture me at night, it is something that is horrific, that my mind will keep imagining because this fucking terrifies you. And yet, under the right circumstances, in a fictional setting, it is supremely arousing. And I tell you people, right now, all I can think about right now is Hannibal Lecter and Amy Pond. Mads Mikkelsen's Hannibal Lecter and Amy Pond. That's just supreme. Because, you know, it's like Amy Pond, like in Doctor Who, she's so well written, and I care about Rory Williams so much, but like enough time has passed, enough distance is under that bridge, enough water is under that bridge that I don't care anymore. Amy Pond is free to be mine in my imagination now, and it's just, oh, such fun times. And I'm happy. I am utterly, supremely happy, and I'm moving, and I'm moving somewhere where things are going to be okay, where I'm actually going to have a social life, where I'm actually gonna have a shot at romance. There are dark times ahead. Dark times ahead, and I'm smart enough to know I don't necessarily want to be a part of them. But if I am to live, then I am going to be happy, and as the pantheons of the multiverse are my witness, I am very, very happy. Because I am one perverted, degenerate son of a bitch, and my fantasies and my imaginations, though they may be dark, they are so very, very satisfying. I hope it doesn't come to war. I hope Trump is impeached. I hope the Nazis realize that, hey, maybe you don't want to pick a fight with the world. I hope that the moderates, that the Republicans who just want to fuck over the poor and don't actually want to commit genocide, that they realize that something has to be done to prevent bloodshed, to prevent them and other people being killed in the streets. I hope that war can be avoided, that genocide can be avoided, that so much bloodshed can be avoided. And I think all we can do now is hope. I mean, there are people fighting back, and I will continue to share things on Tumblr and Facebook saying, hey, vote in Democrats in the midterms. Hey, vote for moderates who will get rid of Nazi Republicans when it comes to the ones that only Republicans can win. You know, like, I will be lobbying for hey, you know, let's change Congress over in the midterms. Let's do protests and let's mass mob bother the every bloody senator and congressman and fucking aid to Trump with constant calls for Trump to stand down, for all these bills to be stopped. Let's keep up the pressure, let's keep up the heat, and maybe something will happen. And if nothing else, maybe it will delay the inevitable long enough that when war comes, we'll be slightly more ready. Because, you know, this is happening at basically the worst time for Britain. Because our economy is about to drive off the edge of a fucking cliff. I mean, we weren't exactly a fucking heavyweight before. But now we have just crippled ourselves economically. And thus politically as well. The fight will continue and the fight will not stop. The fight will only ramp up and amp up. But I'm not sure what good I can do commenting upon this now. Because, yeah, people are going to die. Trump's Hitlerian regime is only going to mobilize more and more and more, discriminate more and more and more, and oppress more and more and more, and start invading countries. Right? It is only going to get worse. And at a certain point, we're gonna need people to keep their spirits up more than we are gonna need them to be aware that things are bad. You know, it's mean, it's funny that World War Z is really the kind of the touchstone that I have to draw upon with regards to how to deal with sort of global conflicts like this. Because it's really the only example that I can think of that attempts to showcase how the real world would attempt to deal with a global conflict in the age of, you know, the internet and iPods and stuff like that. Like, you know, the Cold War and the first two World Wars, they happened before the personal computer. They happened before the internet. They happened before social media. And so I'm thinking back to sort of World War Z and like how they're saying that at a certain point they realise that basically people just weren't getting up in the morning. That like at a certain point the zombies had been, if not dealt with, like the zombies were a known threat that people were managing with. They were dealing with them, and instead what was happening was that people were just sort of waking up dead. You know, they just weren't getting up in the morning. They were just dying because of a holy fuck. What are we gonna do? Like, the people were just so fucking depressed that they were just dying because there's nothing else. Like, when's life gonna get better? When's life gonna change? And we aren't quite there yet, but people are feeling so very fucking suicidal. And I'm thinking that we need a fight back. We need a fight back to inspire the troops, to inspire people to keep going, to not die, you know. And I mean, it's hard enough for fucking me, right? And I missed a privilege to ask Johnny Whiteboy. I'm gonna be okay, you know. And chances are Trump's not actually gonna invade Britain if Theresa May is sucking up to him like all Billio. I'll be alright. At least for a few years. I'll be alright. But other people won't be. Other people, you know, they're gonna be trans, they're gonna be Muslim, they're gonna be, you know, black people who are already getting gunned down in the street. And at least, you know, the Mexicans have got their Mexican president, and God bless that man, right? Donald Trump is there saying, you know, like, hey, you must pay for our wall, and the Mexican president is just like, no, fuck you. What are you talking about? No, fuck off. God bless that man. God bless the Mexican president. You're doing God's work, sir. God's work. And I know that's coming from an anti-theist, but I mean this in the good way. In the good way. Seriously, the Mexican president is just being fucking awesome at the moment. And yeah, I think we need people to be inspired, to be motivated. People to feel like they can actually let themselves live. That they have hope and a reason to live. Because I have hope now. Maybe not hope against the world war, maybe not hope against Brexit, maybe not hope against climate change. But I have hope that my life will get better despite the ways in which these great titanic forces will fuck people I care about over. I have hope. And I am happy because I am one bloody perverted degenerate. But other people are not so fortunate. Other people have been circling the drain as it is. And things are about to get a whole lot worse. And so, I think what I'm going to try and do is put out more optimistic material and try to keep people feeling happy or distracted or something. Because otherwise, what's the point? You know, it's why I basically have stopped paying attention to every last little, slight against Jeremy Corbyn, to every last horrible thing that Theresa May is doing, because, we know Theresa May and the Conservatives are bad people. They're bad. It's known. They've done enough bad things that I don't need to know much more, unless, I don't know, the NHS is gotten rid of entirely and I suddenly have to start paying for my testosterone, right? Until it becomes something that directly fucking affects me, I don't need to know any more reasons why the Conservatives are bad people. And I feel like until we are officially in a state of world war against America and civil war within America, that we don't need to know necessarily every last little bad thing that the Trump administration is doing. They're bad. They're fucking people over. They need to be stopped. That's enough. For now, I'm thinking that the priority needs to be on ensuring that people live, that they don't die, they don't keel over. Anyway, I have been me, and you have been very welcome. Yeah. Ooh, bubbly, adorable Amy Pond, and suave-ass, manipulative Mads Mikkelsen's Hannibal Lecter. Ah, yes. I am one perverted degenerate, and I'm feeling fucking fine with that right now. Thank you to all my Patreons at Patreon.com for helping to make videos like this possible. If you wish to leave a like or dislike to rate the video for my analytics, that would be much appreciated. Comments are always welcome, though be aware that they will be moderated before being published, so please be civil. If you liked this video, please consider adding it to your favourites, sharing it to your friends, or subscribing. If you wish to help me out, or my channels, please consider whitelisting my videos in your adblock software, subscribing for monthly donations through Patreon, or giving a small one-off donation. Alternatively, I have a Steam wishlist for games I would consider Let's Playing or streaming, so if you would like to see me broken before the Dark Souls altar, or just happen to have gotten a duplicate of a game in a humble bundle, then you know what to do. I also have an official Facebook fan page, Twitter account, Tumblr, Reddit and blog, so you can stay up to date with all of my videos, blog articles and the things I care about. Links are in the video description. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I think that all that now needs to be said is ban all guns, institute universal basic income now, and ensure government is elected by proportional representation. Oh, and also, fuck the racists and fuck the alt-right.